What's up, everyone? You're very welcome along to tonight's Late Night Agenda. 5 minutes later than the original Late Night Agenda, but we're here anyway nonetheless. How are we? 1-1. How did we find that game? United pretended they were going to be challenging for the league title for a few minutes. And look, banter aside, it was a shite game of football between two sides that are lacking a lot, I think it's fair to say, in the Premier League. Manchester United fans, if you're there, come at me all you want. It was awful. It was awful. That was two teams that don't strike any fear into me as a Liverpool fan whatsoever. It wasn't great. Wasn't great at all. And fucking tickety-boo for the Reds. Top of the league still. That'll do me, ladies and gents. How are we? A lot of people at the United score haven't watched. It's 1-1. It was 1-1. And Paul Pogba missed the penalty. Whoopsies. Anyway, this isn't about United. This is the Late Night Agenda. This is our Liverpool talk show. How the hell are we, ladies and gents? I hope we're keeping well. Again, apologies for the delayed start tonight. I wanted to watch the end of the game, like all of you wonderful people, I'm sure, as well. Good evening. Hello to everybody that's popping in. How are you? Great to see you. I don't know why I'm fucking waving. Like, I'm here. You can see that I'm here. I guess tonight won't be that's the stream where I don't swear either, because I didn't go minutes. Look, I'm wearing my Klopperberg t-shirt tonight, ladies and gents. Klopperberg. Love it. Little nod to Manchester City. How are yous? Obviously, Blood Husky product. Don't forget bloodhusky.com. Check them out. As a Burnley fan, this better not be an attack on Burnley after the title, Craig. What are you shiting on about, an attack on Burnley? Are you talking about the title? Nah, man, it's just me winding up Arsenal fans. Don't worry about Burnley. Nothing against Burnley, apart from the leg break of Joe Gomez. Nah, nothing against Burnley, mate. You carry on being your Burnley selves. What's with the title? Right, we'll get to that. Don't worry about it, ladies and gents. Relax. We've loads of time here. What's a little bit of foreplay? It's all good. Missed your stream, said George. How are you, mate? Neves, what a strike. Whoo, what a strike. All credit. Like, Wolves gave him a warning, hit the post before that. I think it was a Jimenez header. But yeah, as you said, ladies and gents, that strike from Ruben Neves. Woo! Worldy. Absolute worldy. Right, let's get straight to it tonight. We've had our little bit of banter. We've wound up the United fans. Sign Neves, says Callum LFC. That's good, Craig. As long as there's no beef with the Burnley boys, then I'll let you live. Mate, you've about... She's not seeing me. Look at me. I'm a monster. Monster of a man, mate. I'm fucking joking, mate. I don't give a fuck about Burnley, mate. I just wind people up on here at times. Nothing against you. Nothing against Burnley. Nothing against Arsenal. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it, ladies and gents? What a goal from Neves. Loads of people saying that as well. 1-1 draw between the mid-table rivals. Said boy. Oh, sticking the boot in there, Anthony. I like it, mate. I like this idea, pal. Keep it coming. Right, let's talk about Arsenal, because that's what we're here to do tonight. The Reds playing Arsenal on Saturday. A couple of little mixed bits from Arsenal. So manager Unai Emery paid the Liverpool a massive compliment by basically jokingly admitting he'd rather not face Liverpool this season. While talking about the game next Saturday, he also said, we're going to prepare first with the adaptation to them, their game plan and their individual players, and after that to try and impose our game and capacity. Yeah, best of luck. And with all due respect, best of luck, Unai Emery. It's not going to happen. I've been looking at Arsenal fans already on social media, and they're getting a little bit ahead of themselves. I think it's fair to say. Also, this is what the stream title is about tonight. Now, please do take this with a pinch of salt, because I'm going to explain, and I can already feel Brian Morrissey cringing at home. Arsenal defender Sokratis, and I refuse to call him Sokratis, by the way. Fucking Sokratis. Sokratis is... He doesn't deserve to be called Sokratis. Sokratis has stupidly come out and claimed that Burnley are more difficult to defend against than Liverpool. Really, dickhead? Really? Now, come on. I know what he meant. You all know what he meant. He meant the physical aspect of Burnley. He meant the fact that Burnley players are big, strong individuals to put themselves about. And I think he was a little bit naive, and I think the media jumped on it. But it is fun. It is fun to have a little poke, isn't it, at Sokratis, because them motherfuckers in for a world of pain. When our front three get loose. And look, the Arsenal front three are great as well, don't get me wrong, but head-to-head at Anfield, our boys are going to tear them a new one. Roboy said, Arsenal have lost 4-0 and 5-1 to us at home the last two seasons. Up your fantasy points. Oh! That was me banging the table, by the way. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me about that, Roy Boy. Brian Morrissey asked me to pass on some information to you, ladies and gentlemen. So, those of you who are joined our Fantasy Premier League and have looked at the Blood Husky League table will probably understand and realise that there's been a massive fuck up. And it's not at our end. It's by the Premier League, the people that make the app. So basically, the long and short of this, ladies and gents, and I feel for Kev before I even say this. Last week's points total, poof, disappear. Game week 1 point total, poof, just disappeared. Don't know what happened. There was a massive meltdown at the Fantasy Premier League offices or whatever. But it seems that our Fantasy Premier League, the head-to-head league is fine. But the Bloodhusky Premier League starts from game week 2. Not our doing. This was a fuck-up at the Fantasy Premier League offices and nothing to do with us. We can't change it one bit. I really feel for people who got a massively high points total in week 1. Kev in particular, I think got 109 points or something like that. So man, my heart goes out to you. And there's one other thing Brian asked me to, and we'll cover this in the Fantasy Premier League show on Wednesday, but there's one more thing that Brian asked me to tell you guys. Is whoever used their chips in game week 1, so their captain, their triple captain points, their wildcard, whatever it is, that's lost if you used it in week 1. You don't get the points and you don't get the chip. I know it is ridiculous, but we will address this fully on the Fantasy Premier League show on Wednesday. There's nothing we can do about it. It's happened many leagues, so it isn't our issue. Although I really do feel for people who've done well in game week 1. But anyway, let's move on. I only got 36 points this week, said Mossy. There's a thumbs up before I forget. Good man, UK lad. Do hit that thumbs up, ladies and gents, if you're enjoying the stream. I'm in really good form tonight. I'm not going to lie. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm delighted to be on here with you, ladies and gents. David Newell said, bollocks, I got 1,000,000 points in game week 1. I was behind you. I got 1,000,001, David. How long will you be streaming? Until about 11:15, mate. 11:15. So long time to go. An hour 15 minutes. Right. Let's get into the Arsenal game. What do we think of Sokratis' comments? Now, take them with a pinch of salt, as I said. It was really that he was talking about the physical aspect of Burnley's play. And what do we think of the compliment paid by Unai Emery to Liverpool by saying basically that he wished he didn't have to play Liverpool this season? And I get where he's coming from. Goal of the season from Neves Shed Casper. It was a beauty, mate. I'm not going to lie. An absolute beautiful strike. I looked at the top 6 and the only team I don't fear at all is Arsenal, said Evan Power. Arsenal are a good attacking side, and I think they will get better as the season goes on. Genuinely, banter aside, I think they're a very good team. Their midfield and their defence is a little bit suspect. We will beat them. I'm very confident we're going to beat them on Saturday. I'm confident there's going to be plenty of goals in the game. Both teams will probably score 4-1, 4-2, 3-1, something along those lines, but I'm very, very confident of Liverpool getting a win. Craig, no football kit, don't think I can watch anymore. Mate, I'm promoting here, do you know what I mean? I'm looking after Blood Husky here, wearing my Klopperberg t-shirt. Shout out again, Klopperberg, the Blood Husky. Klopperberg and Klopp, you put them together and you just get a massive fuck you to Manchester City. Mwah! It's beautiful. Sarri has pneumonia, said Leon. You look, yes, we wish him well. Obviously the cigarettes don't help there for Mr. Sarri, but look, wish him a speedy recovery. Which midfield is Chamberlain going to turn inside out on Saturday? The Arsenal one, mate, but it doesn't matter because Chamberlain's class. We love Chamberlain. Brighton going for top 4, said Anthony Cronin. Top of the leagues, lads, said Molla. Top of the league. And we are top of the league. Yeah, it is. Look, it's early days. It's two games in. But there are very few teams that are maximum points already. I think ourselves, Arsenal. I don't know. I haven't looked at the league table. Let me just fix this because there we go. Sorry. There was a little bit of my green screen showing in the corner there. Who's going to fix that so it doesn't annoy me? I'd always believe Pogba was not as good as people say. Ronald, look. On Pogba, mate, I posted an article or a link earlier on. Jose Mourinho plays Paul Pogba in a defensive position and he's shackling him and he's stopping him from being his creative best. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer drops him a little bit deeper and it's a fucking masterstroke and he's suddenly a quarterback. You know what I mean? The hypocrisy is just nuts. But you expect that in football. You expect that. And you expect guys to be up United's arse about stuff like that. Harry Maguire, I was starting to figure out how are they going to give Harry Maguire man of the match today in that game? Interesting. They didn't. They couldn't. He wasn't that great. Almost gave away a fucking ridiculous back pass as well. I'm a little bit hyper. Sorry, I'm going to try calm down here. A little bit hyper. Have you seen the new manager range at a club shop? Really nice gear, said Gary. I have, mate. And you're right. Lovely clobber. Do recommend it as well. Check it out. Only us and Arsenal have 6 points, said Mal. There you go. And Arsenal's perfect start to the season will be over on Saturday. So I know a lot of people are going to think I'm very, very arrogant about the Arsenal game coming up, but we beat Arsenal at Anfield. It is what we do. It is just what we do. As I said, Arsenal will go on and have a very good season, but they ain't leaving Anfield with anything except their tail between their legs on Saturday. Loving the photo for Mino ending Arsenal. Yeah, that's my little nod to Bobby. Connor was thinking, what could I put for the OBS start? I said, you know what to put down, mother hooker. Bobby Firmino sending Arsenal defenders one way and then the other. And Sokratis in the picture as well. Just a little nod to Sokratis for his silly comments in the media. Chris Dwyer said, Sky very biased. Man United thought it was only being parodied. Mate, they absolutely love it. Now look, I understand. If you're a United fan, you're going, shut up, Baldy. They love Liverpool. We all do this. I think they like United. United think they like Liverpool. City think that everything is against them. It is what it is, ladies and gents. I hope this season to finish top of the league. We're going to do it, mate. We're going to do well this season. I'm buzzing. I'm going to have to try and calm down. Deep breaths. I don't know why I'm so buzzed up tonight coming onto this stream. But I like it. I like the Reds being in a good position. I like that the whole narrative all weekend has been that Liverpool's defence looks shoddy. Alan Shearer was having his 2 cents worth of match of the day. Everywhere you look, there's people saying Liverpool's defence is shaky. Fuck you, motherfuckers. The Reds are top of the league. Top of the league, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't be so sure about that. We're a better team than last year. Alex, with all due respect, mate, I've paid Arsenal a compliment. If you watch back, mate, I'm not belittling Arsenal, but we will beat you on Saturday. And you'll go on and have a good season. You will improve. You have a great front three, a very good manager, and I wish you guys nothing but the best, mate. Honestly, but the 3 points aren't leaving Anfield on Saturday, and that's just the way it is, mate. I'm sorry. There's very few games I'm this arrogant about, but Arsenal coming to Anfield, it's usually just an entertaining game with 3 points for the Reds. City just hate that they can't buy the media, said Seamus Smith. I mean, you never know, pal. Stranger things have happened. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Boring Arsenal, said Sarabia. Never. I wouldn't call them boring. That's one thing I'd never label at Arsenal. They ain't boring. And they will improve. As I said, I actually look at that Arsenal team. Danny Ceballos is going to be interesting to see how he develops there. Tierney will be a good left back when he comes in and starts playing for them. Obviously Pepe is unknown. We have to wait and see what happens there. He looks like a bundle of energy. Aubameyang, absolute quality act. Lacazette, very good player as well. Still not sure on the goalkeeper. And I think even maybe the most staunch Arsenal fans will probably admit that there's questions over Leno. Right, Liverpool goalkeeping coach said there was talks. Not that we are in talks. No. That's not what he said, Mark. I want to clear this up. So let me just report today. Go back to this. So The Echo's Ian Doyle wrote an article quoting Liverpool goalkeeping coach John Achterberg, in which he said Michel Vorm was among the options discussed as the Reds grappled with a crisis between the sticks. So basically, before we went and signed Adrian, before we gave a contract to Lonergan, Liverpool did look at Michel Vorm as an option. Who I'm actually glad we went with Adrian. I mean, Vorm had a period during his career when he was doing quite well. He was Spurs backup keeper as well for quite a long time. He was released at the end of last season. For me, Adrian, decent. I'm happy enough we went with him. But yeah, Vorm was looked at. But he isn't being looked at. I got to make that clear. He was looked at, I think. You know me, sometimes I get things wrong. But reading the article, the way I read it is that he was looked at, but that they went with Adrian in the end. And of course, Lonergan as well. Almost feel sorry for Paul Pogba, said it's Alex. Almost. I don't. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spent the whole week saying stuff like 80% of what Paul Pogba said has been positive stuff. And 20% is about wanting to leave. And then he took the penalty off Rashford, who scored a penalty last week and missed. What do you think? I don't know. I don't really care. It's United. I'm just glad they dropped points. After that, couldn't really give a fuck about them, to be fair. They're so boring in the 70s and 80s. It felt like a century, said Happily Eggs. Yes. They were. 1-0 to the Arsenal was the same back in the day, but they've changed as the years have gone by. Even Goldbridge said Arsenal next game, what is it, Anfield, then it's a loss. Exactly. That's what happens. Liverpool beat Arsenal at Anfield. Did you see Maguire put in his backside? I did. It made me smile. It did make me smile, mate. But look, we're not here to talk about United and Harry Maguire. We're here to talk about Liverpool and positive stuff around the club. Mo Salah came out in an interview with CNN. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, and said, I'm happy in the city. I love the fans and they love me. I am happy at the club. So there we go. Thank you very much for that. That's exactly what you'd expect Mo to say, but it's still good to hear it. It's still good to have these positive vibes put out there. And more of this, please. We can have Sadio Mane, somebody interview him now and give him the same type of script and say, look, Sadio, say this there, mate. Make it all tickety-boo and happy again. I'm scared about Arsenal, said Toxic Rayman. I'm not. But, mate, I don't know what to say to you. Maybe you're worried about their attack. I don't know. Maybe that's what you're thinking. But I tell you what, if it's a shootout between our front three and their front three, I'm backing our boys to come out on top, and I'm backing our defence to come out on top as well. But it will be an entertaining game. They usually are against Arsenal. But why would you be scared? Exactly, as Adam Phillip has said. Why be scared of Arsenal? It's Arsenal. And they'll come really full of confidence, arrogant, and then they'll go back with their tail between their legs, and the Reds will have the 3 points, and that'll be the end of that. Pogba took the penalty from Rashford because Rashford took it from him against Chelsea. Great. Rashford scored, Pogba missed. At the end of the day, Bagsy, mate, it is what it is. There didn't seem to be much of a confrontation there, to be fair. Rashford seemed quite happy to give up the penalty to Pogba. Adrian needs to practice kicking. I mean, kicking it. Oh, he made a mistake. We get it, Mrs. Mad. He made a mistake. Fucked up completely. No defending him. It was horrific. But he will learn from it. Happened to Alisson last season as well, and he went on to have a pretty decent season. So I'm backing our boy Adrian to come good at the weekend. Most difficult, what's this? Most difficult for Liverpool this season? I don't know what the question is, mate. Most difficult what? Fixture? Period? I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say. Bobby does the media just a little smile. Gotta love Bobby. Do you think Keita will improve when he returns? 100%. I'm expecting Naby Keita to have a really good season. I just hope he can get a run of games. If you can put a run of games together and start getting into a match rhythm and not pick up any more little muscle strains or knocks, then yeah, very confident. What fixture is most difficult this season? What is what you're asking? Probably the 2 City games, in all honesty, mate. It's the battle of the biggest two at the minute in the English top division. The battle of the 2 teams with the best players, the 2 teams with the most attacking styles, the 2 teams, well, maybe not the most attacking styles. Liverpool have tweaked theirs a little bit. It's the big 2 at the moment in English football. Van Dijk will leather Aubameyang, Lacazette and Pepe, said Subi. Pogba won the penalty. Do you get bonus points for that? I don't get your point. Pogba won the penalty. Brilliant. Most managers in these situations tell you not to take the penalty if you're after being fouled. But look, winning the penalty doesn't mean anything. Your club has usually an allocated penalty taker, and I don't know what the situation was at United. I don't know what the conversation was between Pogba. What we do know for certain is that Pogba missed, and that makes me smile. Hope Anfield rocks on Saturday. We know the lads will react to Paul Ward's. What did Sokratis say? He said that Burnley are more difficult to defend against than Liverpool, AJ. Now, again, take it with a pinch of salt. It's very easy. I could come on here, completely hype this up, twist it and say that he's telling us we're shit, but I think he just meant that they were more physical in nature than Liverpool's front 3. But what he will notice very quickly is that Liverpool's front 3 have a few more tricks up their sleeves than Burnley's, and best of luck is all I'm saying. Wolves look solid, said it's Alex. They looked dire in the first 45 minutes, mate. They looked absolutely terrible. United bossed that game in the first 45 without really having to do too much. Second half game opened up a little bit. Wolves definitely came back into it. Deservedly got their equaliser, and look, Pogba missed the penalty, but we move on from there. Hendo, Fabinho and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Harry Williams has gone for the midfield against Arsenal. Probably a little bit too early to go with team predictions for me, because I want to wait and see how people train during the week, see what the manager's press conference is like. But can you imagine that midfield going forward in the season? I would tweak that a little bit. Somebody put up a midfield yesterday of Fabinho, Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I just thought, at home in the league, that could do some damage. Does anybody know when Alisson is back? I don't think anybody does yet, mate. All we've heard from Kloppo is that it will be a few weeks. I don't know what a few is. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Goldbridge said it was pub football, amateurish to give the penalty to the one who won it. Exactly. I've said this a moment ago. It is kind of not unusual for the player who has been fouled not to take the penalty. Now, look, Pogba wasn't badly fouled, so there was never any talk of an injury or look of an injury. What else have we got? Who do you think will be our bogey team this season? I don't know. I mean, why all the negative questions? What about things like who are we going to spank the most this season? Who are we going to give the biggest beating to this season? I don't like going with negative questions, ladies and gents. So Liverpool are in a good place right now. Let everybody else be negative. Let the media try and pile stuff on top of us. Let them pick apart our defence. We'll just carry on picking up those W's and going about our business. What is our best midfield when they're all 100% fit? Asked Graham. I suppose, mate, it depends who we're playing. I like the one I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, but then again, I can also understand somebody maybe dropping Naby Keita, dropping Henderson in there instead. That makes sense to me as well. Depends if we're home or away, depends what competition it is, depends what type of rhythm we're in, depends who's played more minutes. But for me, the Fabinho, Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain one, not going to lie, it does excite me thinking about that in the future. Best stream against Barca, thank you, mate. That stream still to this day is my favourite one that I've done. Now, my favourite celebration was the Origi one against Everton, but that Barca stream was fun. I'm not going to lie, mate. I'm never, ever, ever going to forget that stream. Look, ladies and gents, don't forget if you are enjoying the stream, hit the subscribe button. It was a bit of a manic start today. I don't know what was up with me. I feel like I was possessed somewhat with maybe the spirit of somebody far more energetic than I. Right, what else have we got? Gone through the Arsenal comments, gone through the Mo Salah stuff. What do you guys want to talk about? You fire your questions in and we'll go from there. Which team do you think we will spank the most? Somebody will capitulate. Somebody will absolutely come and have their... I can see us beating somebody 5 or 6-0 this season. Who that will be? Jeez, I don't know, mate. It could depend on anything. It could depend on a yellow card, a red card, a penalty incident. I don't know. Teams' heads just falling off. Somebody will get a slapping this season, though. Somebody will get an absolute spanking from this Liverpool team. Score prediction 4-1. 4-1, mate. I'm going for it the weekend. West Ham versus Arsenal for the biggest score, in my opinion. Take West Ham 6-1, said Seamus. That goal from Ruben Neves, said Adam, it was a belter, mate. It really was. Top notch. And Ruben Neves and goals from outside the box, I mean, he does it a lot, doesn't he? Arsenal wanted to sign Jeffrey Epstein because Wenger left. Relax now, the man's dead. Come on, show a bit of respect, Paul. Would you go for Mbappe and sell Salah? Not dealing with that question, mate. Why go there? I'd go for Mbappe and sell Adam Lallana. Can we have that conversation, perhaps? Can I sing LA LA? No, mate. It's not a match day. You get the songs on match days. You get boring out of me in the nightly streams, I'm afraid. You look like English Vic Star. I've no idea what that means. I'm taking it you're trying to slag me somehow, but I've no idea what the fuck it means, mate. Sorry. I want to see the KFC midfield. There's some very strange stuff going in that chat tonight, ladies and gents. Right, so Rod said, Arsenal consists of players who complicated names and funny haircuts. No problem. There is a few. Difficult to pronounce in there, alright. I'm going 9-0 against Arsenal, said Anthony at the weekend. Mate, even for me, that's optimistic, buddy. No, Wenger's not dead. Epstein's dead. Christ almighty. Isn't that your man that died in the prison in America? Jeffrey Epstein, isn't that his name? Wenger most certainly is alive and keeping well, thankfully. Would love to spank Chelsea at home, said Mark Forrest. Yeah, I wouldn't mind giving them a spanking, actually, mate. I wouldn't mind it one bit. I think we missed a trick not signing Ruben Neves, said it's Alex. Everybody missed that trick. To be fair, he is a very, very good footballer. And I said this before, there isn't in there for us with Ruben Neves because Pep Linders was his coach for 6 years, something like that, while he was an underage player at Porto. Craig Klopp confirmed that Liverpool couldn't afford Coutinho. No, he didn't. He said that this wasn't our window for spending big money. We have to pay our bills. Didn't say we couldn't afford him. Could have maybe took him on loan and bought him at the end of the year. Basically a polite way of saying we didn't want Coutinho back. Now Coutinho has gone and signed for Bayern Munich. I should say that on loan with an option to buy. The loan fee, as I said last night, was around the 8 million mark. A lot less than the 21-22 million being quoted when Premier League clubs are interested. And yeah, he's gone there and whatever. Weird seeing him in red that wasn't Liverpool red, by the way. I must point that one out. And finally, maybe this can bring to an end all the Coutinho talk, because there's been a lot of it. There's been a lot of it, hasn't there? Coutinho, and I've been involved in it. I'm not going to say I wasn't part of this whole will we, won't we scenario with Coutinho, but we won't. Now, I think we can safely say. JBD said, is it J or JDB? Excuse me. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I think you're too strong for us at Anfield. I don't think it'll be a spanking. I think you'll win 3-1. You're something around that is most likely right, mate. And again, I want to point out, I do have respect for Arsenal. I do think they're a good side. I just think they're not settled yet at this point in the season. They're not fully up to tune with the new players being put in and stuff. And I think we will beat you, as you've said yourself. But you will go on and have a good season. I'm expecting Arsenal to do well. That front three will cause a lot of people trouble. Mr. Salah stuff, what was that about? It was just me saying that he had an interview with CNN, mate, where he said he loved the city, the fans love him, and he's happy at the club. Everything you'd expect to hear. Rabadam, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Said, I bet we'll meet Bayern in the Champions League. Connor called up to me earlier on his way home from Dublin, and he said the very same thing, mate. He said, watch, we'll get them in the Champions League now. We've already knocked them out with Barcelona. We might as well knock them out with Bayern Munich as well, buddy. Right, so hopefully 7 Champions League this year, said Anthony Cronin. Do you know what, mate? I'll take the league title. That is top of my list of priorities. And how about everybody else? What is your dream list and realistic dream list for this season for the Reds? Super Cup in the bag. I think we'd all like the World Club Cup as well, or the World Club Championships. I'm not sure what it's called these days. But the Premier League for me is priority number one. I'm not going to lie. Champions League is brilliant. But if we won it again, would I be unhappy? Shit, no. I'd be over the moon. But I can't lie. Premier League is where my heart is. I want more than anything else. It's been too long. Nathan said, I'm a United fan. I don't understand how we didn't win. Pogba missed a penalty, Nathan. I know that's stating the bleeding obvious, mate, but I can understand your frustration. I get where you're coming from, mate. I do get where you're coming from. Daniel James looks like he is going to be somebody that opposition fans absolutely despise. 2 dives at least in the match today. Not great stuff from the young man already. So he's already going to be pinpointed as somebody who likes to go in the penalty area and even outside of the penalty area. So looks like a tricky, decent young footballer, but he needs to cut out that diving shit. Last year was the first time we drew Bayern, wasn't it? Mate, you know me, Harry. Come on, mate. You know me and my memory. I have no idea. We gave them a spanking though, away, which is beautiful. They came to Anfield. They set up. They were happy leaving with a draw. They frustrated us at times, but we went over there in the Allianz and got the job done, and the rest is history. I hope our front three show Pepe way to come for Klopp. Look, I don't really want to focus too much on Nicolas Pepe. He's an Arsenal player. Leave him be. Let him get on with his career with Arsenal. We'll see how it works out. All I will say is that any decision Klopp has made since he's come to the club not to sign a player hasn't really come back to haunt us. I don't remember looking at too many players and going, shit, we missed the boat there. On somebody we were genuinely interested in. So let's wait and see what happens with Nicolas Pepe. He's an Arsenal player and we'll see how his career gets on. Johnny said, I think this is a great channel. Thank you very much, buddy. Really appreciate the kind words. League must come first, said Mark Forrest. I agree. I'm so happy we got that win at the weekend against Southampton. I was very nervous going into that game after the exploits of the lads in Istanbul, the 120 minutes in the legs. You've probably seen the story doing the rounds. The physio was at work on the team plane on the way home. We had a very short session, I think under an hour, to prepare for the game, and the lads just went out there and grinded out a win, and that was what it was about. It was about picking up the 3 points at Southampton, and now Klopp has a full week with the lads on the training pitch, lots of time for recovery, lots of time to work on tactical stuff, and I'd be expecting an improved performance from the Reds against Arsenal. Will said, like and hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much, Will. Appreciate that, buddy. We're going to beat Arsenal. We're not sloppy in midfield and defence. Exactly. It will be interesting. Watch, I've built this up all week now as a game with goals in it, and it'll end up being one like Manchester City game last season. It'll be a big, dull, drawn-out game. I hope not. I really do hope it isn't. I hope the Reds get the job done. And again, at this point of the season, performances are great, but it's about putting the points on the board. If we grind out a shitty 1-0 win, I don't care. I just want the 3 points. There's an international break coming up as well, which I hate. I hate the early one in September. What's your favourite dinner and dessert? I'm not calling you fat, I'm just curious. You kind of are calling me fat by bringing up the fat thing, Ibrahim. But honestly, pizza and dessert-wise, cheese pizza. Plain, boring cheese pizza. Dessert, what would be my favourite dessert? I don't know, mate. Something boring. Apple crumble, something like that maybe. Yeah, I'm a pretty simple fella. If we win 8-0, you have to call Bates and 87 out for a fight. It wouldn't be much of a fight, to be fair. I mean, I don't know the lad, but I'd fucking back myself in that scenario. Can you imagine João Felix and Mbappe playing for Liverpool? We won't be getting João Felix anyway. He's after signing for Atletico, ending careers already over there. Did you see him? That little burst he had for Atletico was pretty good. And Mbappe, look, we all know the hashtag Mbappe 2020 dream. Love this channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, mate. What was that gentleman's name? It was JC Gaitans29. Thank you very much, buddy. 0 likes on the video. I think you need to refresh, buddy. I think you need to refresh. Fabinho's crucial against Arsenal, said Craig Weston. Yes, that is a very good shout, mate. I think he will have a massive part to play breaking up that midfield and stopping Arsenal's counter-attacks, and we'll probably pick up a couple of cheap yellow cards as well. it's all part of the fun, isn't it? I mean, if there's one thing I'll say Manchester City are, well, there's probably a lot of things, but one thing they're particularly good at, it's snidey little tackles to stop counter-attacks. Yeah, they break up play and have these little tactical fouls a lot, and it's been highlighted by opposition managers as well. Can do it winning the FA Cup this year and the Holy Grail of the league, said Graham Sangster. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I wouldn't say no to the FA Cup and the league, buddy. That would do the finest. But I want the World Club Championship because it's a trophy Liverpool have never won before, and we would be the first English team to hold all three of those trophies at once. Not calling it a treble by any stretch of the imagination, but we will be the first team to hold the Champions League, the Super Cup, and the World Club Championship. The first English team, the first English team. Why does Klopp never play Shaqiri? I don't know, buddy. G-Star, there's a lot of theories around why he doesn't play Shaqiri. It's something we actually spoke about a while ago on the stream. Shaqiri came out and said that he has to look for solutions. Now, if that solution is getting his head down and training, working his ass off and trying to improve, great. Or is that solution perhaps looking for a way out of the club? I don't know. But it is... something has to be up from not to be getting. He's getting on the bench, but he's not getting many minutes. I do understand why people have a bit of suspicion around that, but it would just be complete conjecture on my behalf to come out here and start spouting stuff that I don't know the truth. Love your channel. Hope you get to 100k before Christmas. We absolutely won't, but thank you. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine 100k before Christmas. Yeah, that would be crazy. It won't happen, but do you think Brewster could be the Mbappe of the league? Oh, that's a lot of pressure. I mean, as much as I rate Ryan Brewster, that's a lot of pressure to be putting on him. I just want Brewster's progression to come naturally. I want him to get his minutes bit by bit. I want us not to put too much pressure on him as fans and just want him to come in and do his thing. And I'm sure that's exactly what Klopp will do with him. I fully back Jurgen Klopp to progress his career and to get the best out of the young man. And I'm so excited about Ryan Brewster. I hope we don't lose Shaqiri because of not playing him, said G-Star. Yeah, look, I'm somebody that's not the biggest Sheridan Shaqiri fan. I can see the positives of his game at times. He's got a great left foot. He's got a very good delivery. But he sometimes is a little bit off as well. And what I will say is, from a purely financial perspective, if we were to sell him, we would definitely make a lot more than the 13 million we paid for him. But at the same time, right now we're in a position where we don't need to be shipping out more bodies. We need to be keeping that squad together. We'll know with the 2nd of September when all the windows have closed if he's still here. I'm hoping that he is. I mean, not his biggest fan, but he can certainly contribute something. I fully believe that one. Paul Dunning said, heading to Wexford for a few days. Nice. Have a nice trip, mate. Enjoy it. It's a beautiful county. If we win the World Club Cup, I think the Champions League badge appearance will change, right? Yeah, will we get the gold thing here, don't we, on the shirt? Which I really want, I'm not going to lie. James Hardy, we should be top, not Liverpool. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, Lee, but you aren't, mate. The Reds are, and by Reds I mean these Reds. Top of the league, Lee. Bit of banter, mate. You know I like you, Lee. You're a good man. I really appreciate you coming in and out of the chat, mate, but you must be fuming that Pogba didn't score that penalty. And looking at the replay as well, Patricio had his foot on the line, so there was no issues around that one either. Shit happens, mate. It's going to happen to us. I mean, all of this bragging and shit that I've done about VAR, it's going to come back to bite me in the ass at some point this season. But it's part of the fun, isn't it? If you got to do this type of thing, you got to be willing to take your lumps as well from time to time. The only threat in midfield is Ceballos. Other than that, Fabinho will dominate. Yeah, I do like Danny Ceballos as a footballer. I'm not going to lie, he's a good player. I don't have are any Arsenal fans in the chat? If you are in the chat, I have a question that I really would love to know the answer to, and I hope you have it for me. The Danny Ceballos deal at Arsenal, is there any agreement at the end of that to buy, or is there a price set in place, or is it purely just a loan deal? He plays so infrequently, I don't know his quality anymore, said Maverick. I think you're talking about Shaqiri there. I mean, he showed his quality against Barca. He shows his quality in glimpses. He does have a wand of a left foot, Shaqiri, absolutely. But you just don't get enough from him for me to justify. I don't know if Klopp isn't happy with his work rate. I don't know if he's not happy with his track and back. I genuinely have no... Maybe he is happy with him. I've no idea, but he's not getting the minutes. We can't deny that. Do I like County Monaghan? I've never been, Johnny. I've never been, mate. Or have I drove through it? I don't remember it, mate, so I can't say either way. Monaghan, Kerry, there's maybe one or two more I haven't been to. Under 23s beaten 3-0 by Chelsea, said Dave from Dave's LFC Chats. How are you, buddy? Very strong Chelsea side, by the way, for the under 23s. Batshuayi was in it. Rudiger was in it for them. So, quite a strong Chelsea team there. No option to buy FIFA Gaming. Thank you for that one, buddy. Christopher Byrne as well. Thank you for that. And everybody else, Adam Phillip, Casper, and everybody else that said it to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate you giving me your answers. Which player do you think Klopp's favourite? I like Oxlade-Chamberlain. Could be Lallana. Firmino is, I would say without a doubt, underneath it all, Klopp's favourite. He's so important to everything that we do. Yeah, I'd say it's Firmino, mate, honestly. But look, I don't know. It's probably not a question he's ever going to really give us an answer to. The Molyneux was one voice singing fuck VAR during the review. Very loud. Yeah, but it was, VAR looked at it. The goal was given. And what a strike. We said it earlier on, but what a strike from Ruben Neves. There's, I think Joel Ravinovitz put something up on Twitter that there's something sweeter about a goal when it goes in like that off the underside of the bar. It does add a little something to it. So it was a good shout from Joel, that one. But it was a belter of a goal. It's only a loan deal. Thank you very much. Again, with regards to the Danny Ceballos thing. Thank you, Captain Clun. Bernadette Farrell said, wasn't happy with Shaqiri's work rate off the ball. Yes, I could understand that. But he does have the ability with one stroke of that left foot of his to change the game. John Sinner, how are you, sir? Evening, Craig. Top of the league for the first week. Hopefully same at the end of the season. Yeah. And us and Arsenal, mate, the only two teams left with perfect records. And somebody's gotta go. Well, I suppose it could be a draw, but still, somebody's gotta go. Salah or Mane? For what? I mean, don't know the question. Who would I like to sleep with? Who do I think has a better haircut? I know, which I'm only joking with you, LFC 2006. It is like picking one of your children, mate, isn't it? I think I'm expecting Mane to have a more impactful season this year, if I'm being honest, for the Reds. But I love them both very much. We're blessed to have both of them at the football club. Bagsy said, Shaqiri doesn't defend as well as others and is more of a game changer than a starter, and that's why I think he's not getting played, because we don't really need to change games because we're winning. Possibly. I do agree with you. He definitely is somebody that can be a massive impact as a sub, and as I said, one stroke of that left foot of his and yeah, it can change a game. But it's the other stuff. It's the work rate, as Bernadette pointed out, perhaps to track him back. I know Klopp said he wanted him to work on the defensive side of his game. I remember reading an article towards the end of last season where Klopp was talking about Origi, Klopp was talking about Shaqiri, and he said there's still more to come from both of them. But he said it in a positive way, in that he expects and hopes that they're going to get more from the two of them. And look, Origi, I'm expecting to keep stepping it up. What else we got? Also, sing our Bobby song. What about the Wolves fans? Yeah, look, they did nick it, but we nicked it as well. To be fair, it's not an original Liverpool song. I think, does the song originate from River Plate or Boca or somewhere like that? I think it is. It's a River or Boca song originally. And look, it happens all the time, doesn't it? Liverpool bring in LA. It gets nicked by fans around England. Liverpool bring in the Si Senor song. It gets nicked. It's what happens. I'm sure we've nicked songs as well, our little rhythms and rhymes off people. In fact, I know we have, because I'm just talking about it here with the Si Senor thing. JC Guyton29 said, my favourite player is Sadio Mane. Understandable, my friend. He is an excellent footballer, and who doesn't love that smile? Hometown St Helens are against Warrington on Saturday in the Challenge Cup final. Can't wait for it, but I'm dreading getting up at 5 and driving down to Wembley. Wish us luck. Of course I do, mate. And have a safe trip down, and let us know how they get on, and let us know how your day goes. It's Alex, and of course, best of luck to St Helens. I'm hurting over Shaqiri as he's a game. What's this? He's a game. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I don't think you meant to say Canterbury inconsistent, Craig. I think autocorrect got you there. River Plate, thank you very much. Kieran, thank you very much. Happily Eggs, and anybody else to put in the River Plate thing. I knew it was one of the Argentinian clubs, and I've heard the rendition, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I just couldn't remember if it was at the Bombonero or not. When does the Club World Cup start for Liverpool? In December, Joshua. I'm not sure of the exact dates yet. I'm not even sure if the draw's been done yet or full information has been released on it, but it is in December. Just when, the Christmas period's ramping up and the busy times are starting for Premier League clubs. Would I sell Firmino if you could get De Bruyne or Mbappe? No. There is not a man, woman or child on this earth that I would sell Bobby Firmino for. Nobody. And I mean nobody. And I have said before I would sell Mane or Salah to get the likes of Mbappe, but not Bobby. Bobby's so important to our club. He is... Nah, I couldn't even imagine selling Bobby Firmino. How does the United stand of 500,000 subs but you only have 21k? Mark and the United stand, mate, have been around for a very long time, doing very good work, putting out very good streams, and I don't begrudge them a single one of their 500,000 subscribers. They've earned every single one of them. We've only been around about 17 months, really, putting out videos now, and I'm really happy with 21k. I mean, you say only 21k, that means the world to me, mate, that we've got 21k, and I'm extremely grateful to have it, and we'll keep ticking along and see where we end up. But with regards to the United stand, Mark deserves, and the guys over there deserve every single one of them. It's a shame they support United. Do you know what I mean? They're a nice bunch of lads, but they do support the Manx, so there is that against them. But look, they deserve it. As I said, great channel, great lads. It's just a shame about the club that they work with. I was going to say, no, they don't work for United, that they support. Pookie for the golden boot, said Adam. It's a little bit early, but Timo Pukki's... I wondered, could he carry his confidence and his progression through from the Championship to the Premier League? 4 goals in 2 games shows that he's definitely hit the ground running. Do I play Fortnite? No, mate, I've seen boobs before, and I've had sex with real women. So, no, I don't play Fortnite. Sorry, I'm only joking. I don't play computer games in general. It's, I'm... No, don't have time. I wish I did. Jeez, I wish I had time to sit around playing computer games. Yasin's going Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. I think I will change that first 2 to a 4, mate, and then we're on the right track. Who do you support, by the way, Yasin? I can't see by your image. Are you a United fan? Have I got that right? Or have I completely misinterpreted who you support? JC Guyton said United were terrible in the second half. Wolves came into it, yeah, but Wolves were shocking in the first half. Absolutely shocking. Mossy's gone for a 4-0 win for the Reds. Ethan is it Recons? LFC's gone for 2-0. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. I hope we do. I just think, you got to give that Arsenal attack some respect and credit, and I think maybe 3-1, 4-1, something along those lines. The only player in the world who could do a job like Bobby would be Kai Havertz, said Tom Jones. Potentially. And do you know what? I'm almost embarrassed to say this. I've spoke about Football Index so many times. For those of you that don't know what I'm on about, I'm leading towards the Kai Havertz thing. Craig Adams keeps telling me to buy Kai Havertz, buy shares in Kai Havertz on Football Index, and I haven't done it yet. I've bought more in Mason Mount, but I haven't got around to buying any in Kai Havertz. And look, this is obviously a bit of a plug for Football Index, which is a gambling product. I've got to say that. BeGambleAware.org when the fun stops. But if it is your bag, there is a sign-up link in the stream description below, and there is a sign-up code as well, which is AA. So if you do sign up, please do use the code AA and use the link below, and that will, of course, help support the channel. But yeah, more on that to come, and I need to get my finger out of my backside and actually look at Kai Havertz on Football Index and actually buy some shares in the young man. I feel guilty now at this point that I haven't listened to Craig Adams and actually done that. Ibrahima said Firmino, Keita, Shaqiri for Mbappe, 40 goal a season player. Luis Suarez hasn't been properly replaced. No way am I getting rid of Bobby Firmino, pal. I know that's your opinion and you are of course fully entitled to it, but for me, no, I'm not getting rid of Firmino. Mbappe is great. I love Kylian Mbappe, and he's one of the few players in the world that I think could really come in and improve that front three. But that being said, nah, not Firmino, man. Not Firmino. I just can't do it. I love him too much. Bobby's first game for us, he came on as a midfielder. His first touch was class. He is a midfielder who became a striker, said Graham Sangster. Bobby is the link for Mane and Salah to do what they do. Exactly, John. His creativity, his cleverness, his match awareness, his hard work, his determination, his pressing leads and allows those two superstars to go and do what they do. And it's just why they're all as important to each other. And that unit, that front three unit of ours, they are on a different level. Their understanding is just getting better week after week. Who is Kai Havertz? He is a player, mate, who plays for Bayer Leverkusen, an attacking somebody maybe played just in behind, I think. I don't really watch too much of him, to be fair, but he's somebody who a lot of Liverpool fans really want us to sign. Somebody who I'd heard is going to go to Bayern Munich at the end of next season, but do keep an eye on him this season. Bayer Leverkusen player. I'm sure there's people in the chat who've watched much more of him than I have. I've heard great things, seen clips about him, but everything I've heard as well suggests that he might be going to Bayern Munich next season. Rumour saying Kai Havertz is about to sign for Bayern, said Casper. Yep, that's been around for quite a while, mate. Craig, let's know if we can help get your subs up because this channel deserves it. Thank you very much, mate. Look, all I can ask is if people are watching and they are enjoying the stream and they haven't subscribed, to hit that button, let your friends know about us. Feel free to share the stream as well. There's links below. If you want to follow us in other forms of social media, we are of course on Twitter. We are at Anfield Agenda. Really simple. Same on Instagram, at Anfield Agenda. Both accounts are doing quite well. Instagram is a fairly new account. I think Connor is about to get to 12.3k on there. Kev did great work as well, helping us build that account up. Twitter, we're at 35,300 subscribers or followers, something like that, which I run the Twitter account, so if you ever want to contact me, it's easy to do so on there as well. 4-0 Bobby, Oxlade, Mane, Salah to score, said Mossy Kyo. Thoughts on Eusebio Pedrosa? I think he's an amazing fighter. I'm not going to lie, Dara, as much as I do back my boxing ability, I haven't seen anything, mate, of that guy. I would be completely lying to you if I said I knew much about him. As much as I back my boxing ability and knowledge, mate, gotta admit, haven't seen anything about him. I'd invest in Julian Brandt. He's a class season last season, said it's Alex. We tried previously to sign Julian Brandt, mate. You know Dave Henry, well I hope you guys know Dave Henry, who was one of our original podcasters on the channel. Obviously Dave lives in Germany, and the vibe that he kept getting was that Julian Brandt just didn't want to leave Germany, hence why he signed for Borussia Dortmund from Leverkusen. He just wanted to stay in the Bundesliga, I believe, and keep himself in prime position for the national team. Yasin said Liverpool 2, Pepe 3. Alright, I guess I can figure out where you're going, mate. Best of luck wanting that result, pal. It ain't gonna fucking happen, but you know, you're fully entitled to put in whatever fairy tale you want into the chat. Do you think Neymar is better than Salah or Mane? No, not at all. Neymar is a prat. Neymar is everything that's wrong with modern football rolled up into one pampered little flick doing fool. I don't like him. And here's why I don't like him. Neymar frustrates the shit out of me because of all the potential that he has. If Neymar had Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi's work rate and attitude, he would be up there with those two. Because he has the ability, he has the world at his feet, but he's just a drama queen who rolls around, cheats, dives, and is a fucking mercenary as well, while we're at it. So no, I would much rather have Salah or Mane in my team because you're going to get more consistent performances from them. You're going to get them to buy into the team. You're going to get them to put the hard yards in. And you don't get that with Neymar. What else we got? Paul said, you'll have a great day, mate. You won't forget it. Been to lots of rugby league finals at Wembley. You were talking to It's Alex. Yeah, and again, best of luck to St. Helens. If we did not have Bobby, Mane, Salah would not be as good as they are now. Correct, Mossy. Exactly. They'd still be great because they're wonderful footballers, but it's not an accident that we have that front three. Klopp knew what he wanted. He knew who would complement each other there. And Sadio Mane and Bobby Firmino and Mohamed Salah are on a different planet. Their wavelength is fantastic, and it's only going to get better and better. I do hope Coutinho does well at Bayern, said Alex Rodriguez. I don't really have many strong feelings about Felipe Coutinho. I don't hate him as much as I used to because of the way he left. From a human perspective, I do have a small bit of sympathy for him that it didn't work out from at Barcelona, which genuinely was his dream move. I just wanted to serve as a warning to other players that are looking at leaving Liverpool and thinking that the bright lights of Spain would be better for them. You are idolised at this football club. You're worshipped by the Liverpool fans. And as he was told, stay here and they'll build you a statue. Go to Barcelona, you just be another player. A player who wasn't played in the right position, I should say as well, at Barcelona. Why is Brewster not playing? Not ready yet. Simple as that. Got cool, mate. It's a pivotal part of the season. The team are still trying to find their feet. And when we get into a match rhythm and everybody's more familiar with Klopp wants and with their roles this season, it's more likely he'll roll the dice on introducing a Ryan Brewster there when he knows everybody else is firing on all cylinders. We're still playing catch up. We're still working our fitness. We're still getting bodies back, and I think that's why, as the season goes on, we will see more Ian Brewster. Just mustn't be the right time now for Kloppo. Happily Egg said, Bobby's a proper link man. He plays all the clever little balls and makes so much space for Salah and Mane. Bobby's the engine for Liverpool, said M-Shack. What's my full-time job, if you don't mind me asking? No, I don't mind you asking, mate, and I don't have a single full-time job. I've said this many times. The way my life is, I've got an autistic son, and he needs a lot of help and a lot of care, and myself and my wife provide that for him. But we have little bits and pieces that we do, which just think of me as a BTEC Dell boy, mate. That's the best way I can describe it. But I don't have a 9 to 5 because of me and my personality, and I suppose my Asperger's will play a part in this as well. I never really like to mention Asperger's as an excuse for anything because it shouldn't be. But it does kind of inhibit me from being able to do a 9 to 5 or a boring office job because I'd be fired in a day, mate. I'd be too blunt. Imagine me doing more customer service on a phone now. And I've actually worked in customer service on phones previously, but I was a little bit blunt at times and got me in a little bit of trouble. Luis Suarez doesn't need to be replaced because Suarez times were basically a one-man team. Bobby, Salah and Sadio replace Suarez because we don't rely on just one player. It's a full team. We weren't really a one-man team with Suarez. I mean, I think you're undervaluing the role that Raheem Sterling had that season, for example. Daniel Sturridge had a wonderful 13-14. Steven Gerrard was doing really well in that Regista-style role, a little bit deeper. I think it's a bit unfair to the other players to say that it was all about Luis Suarez. Suarez was amazing. It was a pleasure to watch him at the football club, but we did have some decent players in and around him as well. Firmino actually started off as a left back when he was a teenager, then moved to midfield when he went to Germany. Now he's a striker. What a man. What a man. I love Firmino. Si, senor. Give the ball to Bobby and he will score. Our number 9. Pass him the ball and he'll score every time. Oh, I can't help it. Whenever I hear that song, I just want to do my little fat shuffle and sing along. It's Alex said, it's crazy how Jesse Lingard is still a young prodigy up and coming when he's 27 and shy. It's important that we add that part in at the end there. He's 27 and shite. Mourinho's a new pundit for Sky Sports. I did see that, Casper, and do you know, he's a good pundit. He is a good pundit, Mourinho. Yeah, it's always interesting to see how his brain works and stuff like that. And I think Wenger did some punditry for beIN Sport as well, and he was quite decent. I mean, they have to be. They know the game inside out, don't they? Simon Tilston said, Sokratis is a proper bellend. Yeah, look, mate, it would have been easy for me to go off on one here about Sokratis, but as I had a conversation with Brian Morrissey about it earlier on, I think the media just jumped on it a little bit. He kind of just meant to say that Burnley were more physical and physically tougher to defend against, but he's gonna, he knows he's in for a time against our front three. They're gonna run rings, and I think I put it in as a bit of banter to try and entice people in for a conversation, but I wouldn't take it too seriously. He wasn't just saying Liverpool's front three are shit or anything like that. Can we have a klaxon for Raheem Sterling? It depends, I suppose, in the context. We have a for those of you who are joining, I wonder, why are we talking about klaxons? We do have a klaxon. We have a klaxon that we use every time we talk about a specific somebody whose name I can't mention because of the klaxon. Just think of Klopp's former assistant, shall we say. When are we playing City? Let me get the fixtures up for you now, mate. I actually have them for once. I actually have the fixtures available to me on my phone here. Right, where are we? Right, City, August, September, November the 9th, we're at home against Manchester City, mate. November the 9th. Lingard, young, lol. I remember him at Birmingham City years ago, said Adam Phillip. He's, I can't take to him at all, Jesse Lingard. He just seems like a twat, if I'm being honest. Curtis Dalton said, how are you tonight, Craig? Bring on the Gunners. I'm good, thank you, mate. Yeah, I'm absolutely flying. Just looking forward to the game at the weekend. It seems such a long time away now that it's only Monday. Again, just a reminder, ladies and gents, there will be no late night agenda tomorrow night. Tuesday is the day that I see my psychologist, and it's a day I take off because I need to process stuff, and mine goes 100 miles an hour after seeing the psychologist, so there won't be any late night agenda tomorrow. Again, people saying, why is he talking about seeing the psychologist or whatever? I'm very open when I speak about mental health and stuff on here. I've been open about my own struggles and my own continual struggles with mental health issues. And I see a psychologist every Tuesday, and I see somebody else on Thursdays every second week. And I just decided to take Tuesdays off because I've had some bad reactions where I've come on. I've been a bit snappy on Tuesdays after, what is a really tough hour. I'm going to take Tuesdays off, so there'll be no stream tomorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday, double Thursday. Wednesday we're going to have the Fantasy Premier League show with myself, Brian and Billy. Then we're also going to have the late night agenda. On Thursday we have a podcast coming up, so that's good news. Myself, Dave, Henry and Brian are going to do an Arsenal preview, and that will be at 8:30 on Thursday, and that'll be followed by the late night agenda after that then as well. So double sessions coming up over the next few days. When do we play Everton? All this stuff is available on Google as well, ladies and gents. Everton, right, where's the Everton game? Everton. December the 4th, we're home against Everton, mate. Bobby to score another hat-trick against Arsenal, said M-Shack. That'll do the finest, mate. Any new merch? Nope, we've decided to halt merch for the time being, mate, because we're being very careful about money. We don't want to be ramming stuff down people's throat, so we decided we'll do a couple of little things, like we'll work with Football Index and we'll be very transparent and open about that, and the fact that will financially benefit the channel if people sign up. But at the same time, we've pulled back from trying to sell new merch and trying to do stuff like that, because we have found revenue streams that have helped us keep the channel free, and we work hard to do that. But it's always best if we can do that without asking anybody else to put their hand in their pockets. So we're going to try and continue to do that. So no more merch for the immediate future. We don't feel it's right for the channel at this moment in time, and we don't want to be ramming stuff down people's throats. We don't want to be asking people to go and buy shit. The Football Index stuff is completely up to you. If you sign up, it's like anything else. It's a gambling product. You have to be 18 plus, UK and Irish people only as well, I should point that out. But if you do sign up, you use the link in the description, use AA, the channel will benefit financially. And it is things like that, these little partnerships, these little bits and pieces that we do behind the scenes that do help us to get new equipment, to keep things ticking along. For those of you that have been around a long time, when we started we had a Patreon, but we closed that down because we didn't feel it was right for us. We didn't feel it fitted in with the ethos of what we were trying to do. And we aren't money motivated, but at the same time it is nice to be able to do little bits and pieces, to travel like outside sources. So for instance, the trip we're doing to Florida, none of that came from YouTube money. That actually came from other stuff that we did that allowed us to fund that trip to Florida next month. So little bits and pieces like that we're trying to do to keep away from you guys, because we don't want to expect you to put your hands in your pockets, and you shouldn't have to. It's a fan channel. We've always said content will be free. It's always going to be free. And we'll work very, very hard to make sure that's the case going forward. And it will always be the case, because I think fan content should be free. But that's just my opinion. And I'm not in any way throwing shade at anybody who charges for fan content. That's everybody's individual decisions, and I respect everybody that makes content. But for me, shouldn't be. Or what we do anyway, what I do and what we do on here should be free. Because, I mean, who the fuck would pay for this anyway? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so that's our little take on it. No more merch for the time being. No Patreon. If anybody does want to, if anybody ever feels like the need, there are super chats there. That is one way you can support the channel financially. The Football Index stuff, definitely. That's a really good way. If you're going to sign up for it anyway, all I'm saying is use the link in the description below and use AA as the code. That will help us out. It is a gambling product. I have to keep saying this. And when the fun stops, and begambleaware.org is there for anybody who may be having any issues around gambling. Right, let's move on. How is Woodburn doing at Oxford? I keep forgetting to look. Gotta be honest, I haven't looked. I haven't looked at all, mate. Like you, I keep forgetting to check. Craig, you should open a PO box and do an opening every month. I've no idea. I know what a PO box is, as in the old-fashioned postal box, but am I missing something obvious here, Alex? Sorry. I mean, technology and stuff, mate. If it's something new and shiny, it's probably gone over my head. Dave Henry is a good listen. He is. Dave Henry's a really good lad, very knowledgeable Red. Great fun. I love having him on. He's good for a bit of banter as well. Right, what else have we got? So the Coutinho fee. So a lot of people were wondering about when Coutinho went to Bayern Munich on loan, how that would affect the transfer fee that Liverpool will be getting from Barcelona for him. I did a bit of research today, and there was an article that came out in the Evening Standard, and that said that the Reds are guaranteed to receive 120 million of that fee, with the remaining 40 million euro made up of realistic add-ons, many of which have since been triggered. So Barca have since paid out 10 million in Champions League related bonuses after reaching the last season semi-finals, somewhat ironically where they were knocked out by us. Meanwhile, the remaining 30 million euro of the deal was made up of appearance targets, and just 5 million euro of that failed to be reached before the players moved to Bayern Munich, and that's according to the Evening Standard. So again, basically, the transfer fee that Liverpool agreed with Barcelona for Philippe Coutinho, it seems like most of the targets and the clauses have been triggered, and that there's only 5 million euro of those remaining clauses not being triggered, so that Liverpool are just going to lose out on 5 million euro and not some of the higher amounts that people have been throwing around. Again, this is from the Evening Standard. It is not me saying this is a fact. I'm only passing on information that I've pulled from that article. If anybody has competing information, I'd happily have a read of it, and I'd happily be educated on it, because as I said, football finance is not my thing. Unlike other people out there who pretend to know what the fuck they're talking about with football finance, I am one of these people. Anfield Talk, how are you, buddy? Welcome in. A PO box is something to open up a post office. Yes, I get that. I just wondered if it was something else that I'd missed the meaning for, Joshua. I knew the old-fashioned PO box thing. I just wondered if it was because we were talking about money and stuff. I wondered if it was something new I'd missed out on. Thank you, LFC 2006, mate. Really appreciate the kind words. Cara has slated our defence on Monday Night Football, lads, and no comments. Strange. Maybe because people were on here at the time, if it's been afterwards. But what do you want us to say? I love our defence. Cara has every right to say what the fuck he wants. I'll disagree with him if he's slating our defence. I don't know what he said, so it's a bit unfair of me to comment because I've been on here doing the stream. What would you do if you saw Kane, WWE Kane, in the end of an alley? Turn and run, mate. That is what I would do. Although, isn't Kane a politician now? Like, isn't he a mayor of some town in America or an elected representative? I'm almost certain that he is. I'm sure I've seen that about Kane. Not Harry Kane, by the way, here. I mean WWE Kane. I'm sure he's an elected representative somewhere. Or at least ran to be an elected representative. What's my midfield against Arsenal? Asked Sebastian Percy. I would go with Fabinho, Henderson and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Yeah, I'd go with those three, mate. I think Oxlade-Chamberlain is getting into a good rhythm now. He showed an improvement, and I have some comments from Oxlade-Chamberlain that I'm going to get to in a minute about his performance against Southampton. And I think against his former club as well, he'd be up for it. So yeah, I'd start him. Let me talk about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain while we're here. So he has discussed his performance in midfield against Southampton on Saturday, and he said, I had an alright game, a decent game, but the main thing was I wanted to make sure I focused on the defensive duties and making sure I was putting in the work and had the legs to help the boys. I'm glad we did that as a team. On a personal level, it's nice for me. It's been a while since I started, but I'm delighted that I could help contribute to the team because that's what I've missed so much. It was really nice to be back out there. I love Oxlade-Chamberlain. I really do. It's great to have him back. He didn't look comfortable against Chelsea on that left side of the front three, but he looked a lot more comfortable running through the middle against Southampton. And he will only improve as the games go by. And I expect him, when fit, to start a lot of games this season because he's great. And I'm expecting a few goals from him this season as well. He will help our midfield tally because if there's one area we didn't score enough goals from last season, it was definitely midfield. Anfield Talk wants everybody's predictions for the Arsenal game. Mine is 4-1, mate. I've been banging that drum for a while. What have we got now? Okay, I think Kane is a mayor, said Adam Phillips. Yeah, I thought it was something. I was sure he was running or had ran somewhere in America for something. Scotty said, due to my disability, I can't travel on my own, and I'm going to try for the first time and tomorrow and see how it goes, mate. I hope it goes well. Don't push yourself, Scotty. Make sure you feel comfortable, buddy. But also enjoy it. Wherever you're doing, mate, wherever you're going, enjoy it. And know that everybody in the channel is right behind you, pal. We love you and we wish you the best. What's this about Arsenal buying Gomez for 60 million in January? I've no idea, mate, but somebody somewhere is fucking inventing stories or smoking a crack pipe. I don't know. But Joe Gomez is not going to Arsenal in January for 60 million. One, they don't have it. And two, why the fuck would we sell him? He's not going there. So you can forget about that one, wherever that came from. How much money do we get for the Champions League? What I know last season for certain, Jack Football, and this is all I can comment on, is that from television revenue from the Premier League and the Champions League, we brought in 251 million. Now, I don't know if that was including Champions League prize money or if that was separate, so I'm not going to pretend. But I do know that figure of 251 million euro from television revenue was being thrown around at the end of last season. A couple of people then saying, he is a mayor, which is mad. That is nuts, isn't it? Kane from WWE, a mayor, like a mayor you ain't gonna fuck with, to be fair. Mrs. Mad said, can disagree on Oxlade-Chamberlain. He was quiet, if I'm honest. It is about opinions. You are fully entitled to yours, as I've said before. I'm not saying it was his best game in a Liverpool shirt. I'm just saying that it was an improvement, a big improvement over his performance against Chelsea. But you're still going to take a while to get back to the Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain that was at his swashbuckling best before he picked up that injury against Roma. What's your thoughts on Arsenal trying to buy Upamecano in January? I don't care, is my honest opinion. I don't give a shit who Arsenal buy. It is of no relevance to me as a Liverpool fan whatsoever. I don't mean that to sound like I'm having a dig at anybody. Sorry, I genuinely just don't give a shit who Arsenal sign, because they're still at least 2 seasons behind doing anything serious towards getting to the top of the table. So I just need us to concentrate on what we're doing. And I'm expecting a big summer from us next summer. Cara said Andy Robertson wasn't good enough for Liverpool. So does anybody believe him anymore? Oh, sorry, I thought this was in the post-match show. I was going to say, fuck off if he said that. Look, everybody makes mistakes on players. Did any of us think Andy Robertson was going to be as good as he is? Being honest about it, I certainly didn't. And I don't know many Liverpool fans who I spoke to at the time that were thinking he was going to be as good as he is. If we're being honest about it, eternally grateful that he has turned out to be as good as he is, and you got to give Klopp and the recruitment team massive credit. Southampton manager to get sacked, lost 2 out of 2. Hasenhüttl, isn't that the gentleman's name? The Alpine Klopp. I don't know, it is one. Who do you think is going to be the first manager to get the chop this season, ladies and gents? Steve Bruce. A lot of people are saying that would not look right on Mike Ashley if Brucey got the chop that early. Alex George said 2-1 or 3-1 to Liverpool, and he's an Arsenal fan. I do appreciate your honesty, Alex. Thank you, mate. And as I said before, I think that the fact that this game is at Anfield this early in the season and Arsenal are still finding their feet somewhat, I'm expecting Liverpool to win. But I'm also expecting a much tougher game at the Emirates later on in the season. Did I mention 6 times? I haven't 6 times. I'll mention it now, though. Will we win the Champions League again or the league? What do you think is more realistic? What I think is more realistic is the Champions League. If I'm being very, very brutally honest. I think, I've said this a couple of times on the stream, I think Liverpool are set up for European football, particularly when it gets to the knockout stage. And the Premier League over 38 games is very, very hard to win, as we found out last season. And I've been brutally honest about it, I would class Manchester City as favourites to win the Premier League. We are capable of winning the Premier League this season. But I think I'd be just fooling myself if I came on here and said Liverpool were favourites to do it. City should be favourites to win the Premier League. And I'm happy for them to have that pressure on their shoulders, as well as the FFP stuff coming up, as well as the pressure on Pep to do well in Europe. And I'm hoping that all of that stuff combined might distract and allow Liverpool to nip in there and go about their business. But all we can do is go about collecting the 3 points every week. The head-to-heads against Manchester City this season are going to be really important. Like last season, they proved to be vitally important. And this season, they could have another important role to play. So those 2 games are going to be fucking massive. Absolutely massive. But as Aidan Andrews said right now, we are top of the league, so enjoy it. It's 2 games in. It doesn't really mean anything, I know. But enjoy it anyway, because it's fun. It's fun to just say it. It's fun to just throw out there. It's fun to have a 100% record. His goal scoring record is pretty good. I don't know who that's about. I think that was a conversation with somebody else. Goldbridge just said James was absolutely rubbish. Do I agree? No, I don't agree he was rubbish. I've seen glimpses in Daniel James of potential there. His diving needs to be cut out. It was shambolic on a couple of occasions. But I don't think he was rubbish, no. I think for a first start in the Premier League for Manchester United, I thought he did okay. Showed glimpses of what he's about. He needs to be given the support as well from his teammates, and he needs to be given the opportunity to run at people and do what he was brought in to do, which is attack down the flanks. But look, Mark is fully entitled to his opinion as a United fan, and I hope Daniel James turns out to be absolute dog shit and a complete waste of money, obviously. But I didn't think he was terrible tonight. I thought Pogba was bang average. Really good link-up play for the penalty incident, actually. I'll give him that one. Other than that, I thought he was bang average. I thought Aaron Wan-Bissaka was awful at times tonight for Manchester United, if I'm being honest. And a bit of shitty passing, some poor decision-making. But he'll come good as well, because I do think there is a fine player in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and it's a big move from it, United. It might take some time to settle down. Can City get banned from this year's Champions League? It's too late. No, it's too late, mate. It definitely, because no matter what happens, they will appeal it. They'll appeal it to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and that will take time to be heard. So no, definitely won't be this season. How am I doing in the Fantasy Football League? I haven't checked, Casper, mate. I honestly haven't looked at all. Game week 1, I looked. I think I won my head-to-head with like a really low score, 47 or something. But I was, other than that, I haven't really looked, mate. I don't even know what my score is for this week. How much would you say Mbappe is worth? It's tough going on the market that we currently have. If Neymar is somehow being valued at 200 million, 250, I don't know. It's horrendous talking about these prices, like, but you'd be talking a world record fee, obviously, if you were to sign him. Gilbert O'Sullivan sang that song about his babysitter. Again, conversations going on amongst that. I need to stop reading these out. Right, ladies and gents, we have 15 minutes left on tonight's stream. So if you are enjoying it, please do hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Anything else you want to talk about, please do feel free to put it in the chat and I'll do my best to get to it. So Football Insider have reported that highly rated Liverpool fullback Adam Lewis might well join Tranmere Rovers on loan. I gotta say, I don't like this move. I don't like Liverpool loaning any of the younger players anywhere below championship level. And here's why. I'm just thinking that if you're loaning players that low down, particularly somebody like Adam Lewis, who played in pre-season, was being spoken up before pre-season about being the natural successor to Andy Robertson or his backup, to loan him to, with all due respect to Tranmere Rovers, I want my fullbacks playing at a higher level than that, playing in a similar type of philosophy to how they'd be playing for Liverpool. And I don't like when we loan players to League 1, League 2 clubs. It just makes me think that we don't really see a future for those players. Now look, that's just my opinion, and I'm not saying that that's what Klopp thinks. I just don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I would rather see him go to a championship club or even go abroad to get experience. I don't like him going down the leagues like that. But that's just my opinion. Do I rate Dani Ceballos? He looks like a good player, yeah? Yeah, he had a very good under-21s with Spain. And it'll be interesting to see how he settles into the Premier League. But I do think there's a player in there, 100%, yeah. So is Larouci going to be back up? It looks that way, Scotty. And he came, for me, kind of out of nowhere in pre-season. And I was very impressed. One of my players of pre-season, without a shadow of a doubt. Still improvements to be made, particularly from a defensive aspect. But Larouci done himself no harm, I think, whatsoever in pre-season. Casper said maybe Adam Lewis is League 1 personally. Level is League 1. Perhaps Casper. But that's kind of where I'm going with what I'm saying. If we're loaning them down to that level, do we really see a future for them at the top end of the Premier League, in Europe, playing in the Champions League? It makes me have my doubts, if I'm being honest. what did Sokratis say? He said that Burnley's forwards are easier to play against than Liverpool's forwards. Now, Mohammed, when I say that, he's not saying Liverpool's forwards are crap, mate. He's saying that Burnley's forwards are a bit more physical, a bit more of a handful, and he finds them easier to defend against from that aspect. I hope Hendo starts against Arsenal. We need the leadership and calm-headed passing he does in and around midfield. I'm expecting him to start, and I'm really liking this new Jordan Henderson. He's got a little bit of bite about him, a little bit of extra bite. I like when he gets the reins taken off and gets a little bit more forward-looking, because he has a pass, as you said, and he definitely can provide more assists, I think, this season, particularly for midfield. And he looks like he wants more goals as well. He's been unlucky. Very unlucky with the Origi goal against Barcelona. Great footwork to get himself into that shooting position. Obviously, his Ter Stegen parried the shot. Origi scored, the rest. And he was unlucky as well so far at the start of this season. He's had a couple of efforts, so I'm expecting more goals from Hendo this year. Anfield talk. Take it easy, mate. I'll talk to you soon. David Newell said, there's no point in loaning to anything lower than the Championship, in my opinion. If they are, they won't be good enough for us in the long term, just like Woodburn won't be at Liverpool next year. I don't expect Woodburn to be here either, if I'm being honest, David. I agree with you on that one. Ojo has been brilliant for Rangers in Europe, said John Bale. Do you think Jesus' goal should have stood? No, I don't. And honestly, 100%, I'm not saying this from a bitter perspective. It's clearly in the rules. I don't agree with the handball rules. If you want to ask me that, I would say I don't agree with those rules. But from a rules perspective, it was absolutely correct that Jesus' goal was ruled out. But do I think the rule needs to be looked at? Yes. I genuinely do think the handball rule needs to be looked at, because there's too much of a fluctuation between what's a handball in the Premier League and what's a handball in the Champions League. And with VAR being brought in, the rules do need to be looked at. I will say that 100%. I absolutely understand why Manchester City fans were a little bit pissed off, but they are the rules. So correctly, it was ruled out. But do I think the rules should be looked at again? Yes, I do. I genuinely do. You really do deserve more subs. You're kind of making me feel a little bit bad about our channel now. I know you're saying it in a complimentary way, and well, it'll happen hopefully, mate, as we go forward. But it's genuinely humbling to have this many subscribers and to have people come and watch us. Genuinely, I really appreciate it. Top 4 prediction: as United Unity. Liverpool, City, Spurs. I can't see Chelsea fighting for it realistically, even though they look like they're making some improvements. I think it'll be between United or Arsenal for the final spot. When I look at United's team on a team sheet, it doesn't impress me too much. But when I see them play, sometimes I can see that there is a unit there. If that makes any sense. Now, I still think they're lacking in a lot of areas. Yeah, I think if United can get their defence sorted out and they can be tough to score against, I can see them grinding out good performances. Yeah, I think it's going to be between them two for the last fourth spot. I think Spurs will comfortably finish behind Liverpool and Manchester City in whatever order. I mean, City, Liverpool, City, it'll play how it may, but yeah, I think it'll be... What do you think, United Unity? What's your genuine opinion, mate? You being would you start Oxlade-Chamberlain on Saturday? Ask Mr. A. Indeed I would, buddy. Yes, indeed I would. I think he's got a point to prove against his former team, as you said. I think he's starting to find a little bit of form. Yeah, I mean, all the signs point to give him a run. Absolutely. Lee Davies said, I can't see Hendo scoring goals. Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita need goals. I don't know. I don't know what to say. You can't see him scoring goals. I'm not going to change your mind. I hope he does. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Jordan Henderson. I have to say, that drive. I mean, I mentioned something in commentary when we were doing the Southampton game, and I don't think many people picked up on it when I said it, but bigger accounts have since said it, and it's been picked up on. But when Jordan Henderson came onto the pitch for those last few minutes, Van Dijk gestured towards him like, do you want the armband? And Henderson was just so focused on seeing out that game and doing his job that he couldn't be arsed about silly little things like putting that armband on, because it wasn't about looking good. It was about getting in there, getting people organised and seeing out that last few minutes. And that's why he's captain. like small little things that I think sometimes go unnoticed is why Jordan Henderson is captain. Liam said VAR is boss. Graham said Stevie G is looking for a left back, so if he's not playing Europe in front of 50,000 for Rangers every 2 weeks, then maybe he's in championship level yet. Wilson to score the winner against City for Bournemouth, perhaps. He was a little bit lucky. His first goal for Bournemouth was great, but it did take a deflection. How many Arsenal players will get into the Liverpool team? It's a very difficult question to ask, because I'm not going to put any of their front three in the Liverpool team, but I really rate their front three. So I'm just saying that because, not because I don't think Aubameyang or Lacazette are brilliant. I do genuinely think they're absolutely top-notch footballers, but they don't get into our front three, because who the fuck are we putting out there? Are we putting Aubameyang in the centre instead of Firmino? Well, no, because as good as Aubameyang is with scoring goals, you're not going to get the work rate that we get from Bobby Firmino that allows the other players to do the same thing. So, yeah, I kind of sound like a dickhead, but I can't really think of many places where I would trade anybody. Alisson, if fit, is better than Leno, hands down. I mean, right now, Adrian Leno, maybe pick Leno, yeah, we'll give him that one, but if Alisson's fit, he's getting in ahead. Right back, Trent. Centre back pairing, I still wouldn't have an Arsenal player, whether we're going Matip or Gomez, if I'm being honest. Left back, it still remains to be seen what Kieran Tierney will do. I'm expecting him to be a very good player, but as things stand, nobody's getting in ahead of Andy Robertson. Midfield, Fabinho, no one's dislodging him. So it's then what other two you want in there. You'd probably make an argument for an Arsenal player in midfield if you really wanted to, but this sounds like I'm being really harsh on Arsenal. I don't mean it to. It's just that I hold their players to such a high level and in such high esteem that I can't really see many Arsenal players getting in and dislodging them, because we are champions of Europe. We did amass 97 points last season. There's a pretty good group of players there, so I don't mean it to sound like I'm belittling Arsenal, because that isn't my intent. Dean Dixon said Pogba off to Rail. Do they have the money? I don't know if they do, mate. There's talk of them trying to get perhaps Neymar in. And look, Zinedine Zidane wants Paul Pogba. He let it be known in no uncertain terms to Florentino Perez that he wants Paul Pogba. It was one of the first players on the list of players that he handed Florentino Perez, apparently. Will United sell him? No, I don't think they will in this window. But anything can happen. Anything can happen. United have said they're not selling him. Solskjaer's come out and said they're not selling him. United Unity said, I think Liverpool will win the league and City come in second, Spurs third, and hopefully United fourth from your perspective. Obviously, can see Liverpool coming in top this season due to your squad being great. Good channel, by the way. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. And I appreciate your honesty, and thank you for genuinely coming in and thinking you think Liverpool have a chance to win it this year. It would be easy for you to come in and just go, yeah, fuck you. But I appreciate you being honest. Thank you. This is why there has been a few. Marcus sent a few people over to have a look at our channel, and I've appreciated it because I love getting that opinion from opposition fans, as well as, of course, our own group of Liverpool fans who I have the privilege of talking to every night. But it is lovely when people pop in from opposition clubs, whether it be Arsenal, City, United, Spurs, and we get to get an outside perspective, so thank you. Liverpool far better team with Bobby in it, to John Bale. What's this one? Somebody about something. Liam said, can see us kicking on again next week, mate, beating Arsenal comfy. I'm going with a 3-0 win. Let's go make a statement on Saturday. I'm fully expecting a win, Limo, mate. I'm with you. Craig, that photo next to you, I think Torreira pissed himself. I think it's a shadow, but I get where you're coming from. We put it in as well because Sokratis is the one behind him. The one that said it's easier to defend against Burnley. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That wasn't even a wink. That was literally just me fucking closing my eye there. I need to look wink. That's more of a wink, isn't it? No Arsenal player will get in Spurs team, let alone Liverpool, said Adam Phillip. Craig, facts, our team is better, said Aidan Andrews. What's the highest score in your fantasy football league this week? Not my department, John, mate. Brian takes care of the fantasy football. I'm shit at it and I don't care enough about it. From that perspective, I mean, I play it. I do pick my team every week, but Brian's the fantasy football boffin, mate, from the Anfield Agenda crew. Harry Wilson, Ryan Kent, Ben Woodburn, do any of them have a future at Liverpool? My opinion, Casper, would be that they don't. Yeah, that is my honest opinion on it. Of the three, Wilson is obviously the one that has the potential, but I guess this season will tell us a lot at Bournemouth, and I really am watching with interest to see how he gets on. Predictions against Arsenal, asks Mr. Mourinho. 4-1 to the Reds, Jose. What about you? Forgot to say, great channel. Appreciate that, Graham. Thank you, pal. Did you hear Sarri got diagnosed with pneumonia? I did. Somebody mentioned it earlier on. Is it Leah? I'm not, or Ilya? Is it Ilya? Is that correct? Because it's hard to see if it's a capital I or an L. We'll go with Ilya, Martin, if that's okay. I did hear that he got diagnosed, and obviously send our best wishes to Sarri to make a speedy recovery. The L cigarettes wouldn't have helped there, I think, but you never want to hear of anybody involved in the game or anybody at all getting sick. So wish him all the best, sincerely. I like him as a manager. I like him as a personality, and I wish him a speedy recovery. If you could sign anybody, who would it be? Mbappe or Sancho? Mbappe or Sancho, mate. Yes, absolutely. One of those two. Yeah, it's the obvious. I know it's the lazy answer, but it is the genuine answer. Liam said, just been watching Monday Night Football. Cara said he thinks Liverpool are playing too high a line this season because VAR to catch players offside. Yeah, we spoke about this before. I read an article about it. I don't know if it was in the Echo or where it was, so I don't want to commit to who actually wrote the article, but they suggested a similar thing, that Jurgen Klopp is backing his defenders to make the right decisions, and that when they are caught out, that they will have made the correct decision and the VAR will show the offsides. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I think Klopp said in one of his post-match interviews that they aren't playing a higher line. They're playing the same as last season. I think I remember him saying that after one of the games. Good choice. Sancho's pretty good, isn't he? And Mbappe is great as well. Yeah, they'd be two dream signings, mate. I'm not going to lie. And Klopp definitely likes Jadon Sancho. Although I've seen United apparently in talks about Sancho. I read an article there somewhere during the week that said that they have opened negotiations for Jadon Sancho. We did hear Borussia Dortmund's, was it CEO or somebody from Borussia Dortmund come out and say that a super club made contact with them in March time, I think, about trying to sign Sancho, and they were told that he's not for sale this summer and that they may revisit the situation next summer. So definitely want to keep an eye on. Scott Dickey, thank you very much, mate. That save against Pogba was class. He even had his foot on the line. It was a very, very good penalty save. Yes, it was. Patricio, my goalkeeper in Fantasy Premier League as well. I really love this channel, Craig. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Casper, mate. And I really appreciate you coming in, mate. It's great to have you as part of the group, mate, because we are a community on here. And we really, really are. I mean, anyone that gives us credit, I keep putting it back and saying the channel is only succeeding because of the amazing people that come in and share their thoughts and support the channel. So, thank you. Right, ladies and gents, I'm going to call that one a night if that's okay. Remember, I won't be here tomorrow. I take Tuesdays off, so I will be back on Wednesday. We've got the Fantasy Premier League show coming up at 8:45 on Wednesday. Then the Late Night Agenda will follow that. Thursday, we have a podcast with myself, Brian and Dave Henry. Again, that'll be followed by the Late Night Agenda. So, nothing tomorrow, but you'll get double sessions for the next 2 days after that. Look, thank you very much for your time as always, ladies and gents. Don't forget to subscribe before you head off. Give us a thumbs up as well if you have a second. And if you're going to sign up for Football Index, don't forget to use the sign up link below and use the code AA when signing up. Also, got to state, when the fun stops, stop. BeGambleAware.org. It is a gaming product. 18 plus for UK and Irish residents only. Look, ladies and gents, take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking Reds. Love to you all.